Okay, I'm with Ruth Rappaport. Is that right?
That's how you pronounce my name, yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, and she has an album called Cheers and Crackers.
Yes, that's a solo album that I put out in 2016.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit more?
I have been playing for all my adult life, well, even before that, teenage. And I just began to feel like I wanted to have an album that showed all this music that I've been playing for decades. I guess I figured I had enough money to do it, and I collected the money, and I just did it. And it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of friends help on that album.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And can you tell me about some of your influences in making music?
Okay, well, I was born in the 1950s, and my mother played piano, but I wouldn't call her a real musician. My father loved music, terrible voice, but they both were really into the folk music that was in the 1960s. Pete Seeger, the Weavers, Peter, Paul, and Mary, that era of music. And my father was also, I mean, we're talking about a Jewish guy from the Bronx, born in the 1920s, but he was really into country music, like romanticized the songs of the American West, and that obviously just stayed with me. And I went to a lot of concerts when I was a kid, and that's where that's the music I was raised with.
That's beautiful. And what would you say is one of the most influential albums of all times?
I was thinking about this before. So I grew up really liking those songs. Of course, I grew up with the Beatles, and then when I was in high school, I really liked the Allman Brothers and different rock bands. But I also liked James Taylor and his first, when he first came out. But there was an album that came out when I was in high school called Will the Circle Be Unbroken? And that was a double album by a group called the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And they weren't exactly the most famous bluegrass band around, but they seemed to get these people, some of the legends of bluegrass who were still alive, into the studio. Doc Watson, Maybelle Carter, Vassar Clements, a bunch of really top-notch people. That made a big splash in the early 70s. And so we had that in our house. That got me into bluegrass, and then I got into what they call old-time music, which is more of the mountain, earlier than the bluegrass music. That's the thing I'm most kind of well-known for, old-time music.
Well, there's nothing wrong with old-time music. I listen to plenty on my own. So I think James Taylor is very influential, and I could agree with that. But my next question is, you have a program at Club Passim. Can you tell me a little bit more about your program?
Yeah, well, I co-teach a string band ensemble group that meets once a week. And we have people, nobody's a beginner, but from an advanced beginner up to pretty advanced. People bring their fiddles and banjos, mandolin, any instruments. But we show people how to put together a string band. And I teach mostly the song, and I play guitar, and then a fiddler is my co-teacher. So
that's wonderful. And have you been enjoying your classes so far?
Oh, I totally like it. I've been doing it for maybe about 2 years. I've had several different fiddle player co-teachers, and it's great. I've met some really great people, and I can see some of them are there and then they leave and I don't hear from them, but some of them keep coming back, and I see them at different old-time string band and bluegrass events, and they really get the bug, and that's really nice to know that I had a part in influencing them.
Is there any upcoming shows that you have?
Let's see. I have my calendar here. Yeah, well, I do a lot of music with seniors. So those are gigs that I have all the time in assisted living places and memory care and senior centers. But August 16th, I believe it is, my son and I have a band, the Ruth and Ben String Band. We'll be at Watertown, the public concerts that they have there. In September, we're at a club called Nick and E's. It's a bar in Providence. And we're going to be at the Jamaica Plain Porch Fest in August 19th, I think it is. I don't know. I have so many that are. Oh, yes. I'm doing something in Hingham on August 10th. It's the Weir River Farm, which is trustees of the reservation. So I'm doing a performance there, sunset picnics from 5 to 8.
That's exciting news. So I guess I'm going to wrap it up by asking you to ask a Magic 8 Ball. I don't have the Magic 8 Ball with me today, but I do have an app with me. Yeah, exactly. All right. And go ahead and shake the Magic 8 right here.
But do I have to ask my question first? Okay. All right. So I have this other album here that I did with my son. And here it is. The Newfangled Folk, Ruth and Ben String Band. Anyway, we are planning to go to West Virginia next week.
Uh-huh.
To a festival they have. It's just a gathering called Clifftop. And we're going to do a little performance. But this is like where all the old-time musicians from around the world come to. So we're going to do a little ad hoc concert there, like a CD release party. And I want to know if it will be a success. All right. Or do I do that kind of thing? All right. Woo! It is certain.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Ruth.